Okay, this video is the third video in the series on how to play the Vivaldi D minor concerto, the first movement that is in Suzuki Book 4, the third piece of it. So this video is going to work on, I'm sticking to the floor. I can't get the chair where it went in. Okay, this video is going to work on the measure 60 through 69. So we have the same bowing we had at the bottom of the first page. Like I say, at the beginning, it may after a while not end up looking like banana, but at the beginning we want to practice that banana. Short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I would suggest doing this with the metronome. So onward comes Mr. Metronome. Mine is set at 72, which seems slow to me, but it should be good for you. 1, 2, ready, go. I find myself constantly readjusting my bow hand to release it, and release my elbow, and release my arm, my upper arm, so I weight into the string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So after you feel that super comfortable, then we're going to do measure 60 through 64. Or is it? Yeah, 64 with just the open strings. If it's super hard for you to just do the open strings, maybe you need to write it out, and just write out A, D, 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 A, D, 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 A, D, 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 G, D, D, D. That was the first measure. So I'm really letting my arm sink into that C string so it responds. It's really tempting for me on the 4/8 notes that that are just straight and don't have the slur. It's really tempting for me to slur there. Then the last bar of that measure 64. I'm sorry, that's a G string. But then we got to go from the C to the D. The G to the A. The G to the A. So that measure you may spend some extra time on. The good idea is to stop the bow on the big string change. Stop, go. Stop, drop. Stop. So you may want to put those big stops in there. I think that's a down bow. Stop, drop. Drop. So you may not want to stick with the metronome on some of those and practice that. So I'm just doing the big string changes. G, C, D, A, G, A. So that you get those parts really clean. And again, like I say, you'll probably have to spend extra time on that measure. 3, 4. that comfortable, after you get the bowing, put the accents in, put the dynamics into it. You can decide how loud you want those crescendos to go to, but then you want to make sure they drop. So then you might want to speed it up a little bit, even just doing the open strings there. So just like on the open strings, you might speed it up. I didn't play this part for you that we're working on. I should. That was not right. I can't play. I don't want to play it that slow. We'll come back to that part because I don't want to go turn the metronome off. Then we're going to do just the first of each four and the four notes that don't have the slur in them. That's going to be like... And I need to like stick with the metronome. Let me turn the metronome off for this part. No, I want to keep it on. 1, 2. Oops. So I would do that a few times. I would do it with the metronome. Then, because we have the same thing we had on the other page, the last 3 notes, they change as we go out throughout this. But first we have D or F, E, D. Then 61 we go to F sharp. 62 we're on the G string, high 2, B natural, B, A, G. 'Still B natural. C string. Now we jump that E an octave. Then, you might pluck it first. And I can tell, I would have rushed that part. So really do it with the metronome. Then you put it together slowly with the metronome on a 16th. And make sure you get the dynamics in, make sure you get the accents in. A lot of times I'll feel the one E and then I wouldn't worry about getting this part all the way up to tempo yet. You can if you want to. I would worry about it being easy, super easy to stay with the metronome. I would try different metronome tempos, 72, 68, 76, 82, 84. Eventually we'll have to turn it into 4 beats rather than 16 beats. But you want to have it super, super solid. I wouldn't even necessarily worry about that quite yet. You could, if you wanted to. I might go to eighth notes first and then go to the quarter notes afterwards. Then we need to look at 65 through 69. Our bowing changes here. And this is where people crash and burn. Because like I said, a lot of times they gain speed to the earlier 4 bars. But even if they don't, a lot of times they crash and burn here. So it's similar, but our bowing is different. So we want to practice that bowing. Let's just do open string. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got all those separate notes then. I'm going to start back at major 65 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, slur, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, slur, up, down, up, down, up, down, slur, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, slur, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, slur, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, slur, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So that bowing, like I said, throws people, because sometimes our 16th notes start up bow and sometimes they start down, and we don't like it when they start up down. Then I would do it again with those strings. Up a couple times because I was thinking about other things like adjusting my bow hand and thinking about what comes next. Let's do that again. So you want to make sure these are super easy before you move on. 2, ready, go. Better crescendos. The other thing you might do with this is play some double stops as you're crossing the strings. really good for finding out just how far do I have to go trying to play on the inner edges of the strings, that I'll call it. Rather than making huge string changes, I can make smaller string changes, and that helps you a lot when you go faster. Then again, I would pluck the fingers. So that's the right spot. 1. Not liking my intonation. Really feel the fingers walking. Think about how you're going to put them down. Think about if there's fingers you want to put down and keep down. I mostly walk my fingers through this place. There are some people that like to put down pairs of fingers, and this could be a good place for experimenting with that. But get the fingers learned. Then again, put it together. Let me try to get this again. That's not the right place. Yeah, that was right. To add the double stops. I was adding them because I'm like, I didn't warm up today, and I'm like, I'm out of tune. So then when you feel, get that part all together, get so you can play it up at a decent tempo, then you're going to want to put the two parts together, obviously. Let me turn off the metronome. There we go. But really have each part separate. You might want to start by just doing major 64 and 65 to put it together. Did I mess up that bowing? I think I did. I was thinking about my bow hand. So I might just start with those two bars where the transition happens and get the transition really flowing on it. Then I might start from 64 again. Having good luck with intonation today. And then I would probably do that, get the crescendo into it. I would also do that with metronome because it's really easy to want to rush there. I could really feel it. And then go back to the beginning and put the whole thing together. next section. It's a long video. This, to me, is the most difficult part of this piece. One of the things I meant to ask people is, when you went through and you looked at what parts you thought would be difficult, what parts you thought would need extra work, are these some of the parts that you picked or not? Because to me, this is the most difficult part of this piece. It takes a lot of time. You know, it might take you a week just on this video. That's okay. It's better to get it really solid than to learn it incorrectly. Learn it with incorrect rhythms for sure is easy to do. We didn't talk a lot about how to use the double stops crossing the strings to smooth out the bow and stuff, but we did a little bit of it, and play around with that as well, because a lot of times you'll find that's useful. Most people haven't done a lot of double stops here yet at this level, but you want to get, if you haven't, you want to start getting into playing double stops. And so good luck with that section. Keep working on the previous sections. Make sure you're still doing the scale. Make sure you're still doing the shift on it. And we will come back with a video 4 very shortly.